This is an old mine. It was abandoned decades ago. It's deep, dark and partially flooded. Can our rough science team overcome its dangers and penetrate its depths? Our four pioneering scientists are Ellen Macaulay, an intrepid go-anywhere botanist with a love of all things wild. Mike Bullivant, a chemistry wizard with a wicked sense of humour. Jonathan Hare, the do-it-all inventor, physicist and engineer. And Hermione Coburn, an earth scientist and explorer who never gives up. Their base is an abandoned mining mill way up in the mountains of Colorado. This is High Altitude Rough Science. In the late 19th century, miners came in their thousands to try their luck in these mountains, digging for precious metals. This week, the team have to go underground themselves in search of silver. And that's no easy task. Mines can pose all kinds of potentially lethal hazards. Flammable gases, lack of oxygen, and of course total darkness. On top of that, these mountains have high levels of radioactive uranium, not something you want to stumble over unawares. So can the team come up with the necessary equipment to allow them to safely explore this mine in just 3 days' time? Day one, and our rough scientists are taking their first glimpse of the mine. Look down there.
Oh, no.
Because by the end of day 3, you guys are going to have needed to explore that mine and come out alive, preferably. I think first things first, we need a portable light source. Any ideas on that?
I can make a torch.
Yeah?
Yeah.
OK.
Maybe something that's waterproof, perhaps.
Waterproof would be good, because it is
rugged.
It is a bit flooded in there. Mines are famous for being full of quite nasty gases or perhaps not enough oxygen. Is there something you can come up with to detect that, not chasing wildlife and catching canaries?
We'll make a minor safety lamp. But oddly enough, to do that, we'll need a flame.
And then I could contribute a candle.
Yeah, good one.
OK. And no buying them in a shop?
No, I'll make one.
OK.
I'm not sure how I'll do that, but
OK.
by day 3 you'll have one.
Finally, and perhaps most importantly, this presence of radioactivity in these mountains. Is there any sort of device that you can dream up which is going to tell us about this radioactivity?
Yeah, well, I know of something that I'd quite like to have a go at, where you actually see the effects of radioactive particles. So I think that's something I'll give that a go.
All right. Well, there's quite a lot to do, obviously. We're going to come back here at the end of day 3, but I think you should hot-foot it to the mill and get going. What do you reckon? Go. As usual, they can use anything they can find in and around the mill. They have 3 days to make an electric torch to illuminate their journey into the mine, a radioactivity detector, and turn a homemade candle into a flammable gas detector based on a miner's safety lamp.
You see, up until the beginning of the 19th century, mining was a particularly hazardous operation because they used oil lamps and candles down there to see their way. And those flames from those lamps and candles would trigger explosions of the flammable gases that you find down a mine, predominantly methane. And in 1816, a guy called Sir Humphrey Davy invented a miner's safety lamp, and it's Davy's design that I'm going to try and copy. But for that, I need a gauze or a fine mesh. I mean, something like this, but a lot finer. That won't do. Let's go and have a look over here.
On Challenge Day, Hermione will need to detect whether some pieces of rock taken from these mountains are radioactive. So as a geologist, can you look at a rock and establish whether it is indeed radioactive or not?
No. I mean, there are some uranium minerals that look quite characteristic, but I still wouldn't be able to say just by looking at a rock. I want something that I can test the rock with.
And is there something?
There is. What I'm going to try out, first of all, is a cloud chamber.
Sounds like something from Back to the Future.
Well, actually, it's very simple. I'm just going to make it in this jam jar here. And what the cloud chamber will do is show us the track that radioactive particles take as they come out the rock.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Ellen started on her search for a perfect flame for the safety lamp.
So if we need a flame, a really good way to do that in these parts is to go for some beeswax candles. This protective gear should keep me safe. Let's go.
That's Mike, Hermione and Ellen busy, but what's Jonathan up to? Now then, Jonathan Hare, this portable, reliable light source. You've obviously got something on the go here.
Well, yeah, I mean, the obvious thing is to use batteries. But you know what it's like when you have a torch, you try it, and the light's on, and then you go somewhere and it fails.
Yeah.
Down a mine shaft, that's be the worst thing.
Yeah.
So the best thing is to make a little generator.
Right.
So that we use our own energy. We don't have to rely on the battery. So what I've got here is a little thing which spins the magnets. I've got magnets on here. And so if you turn that... Now, if you put a coil of wire near turning magnets,
Yeah.
you induce a voltage into the coils. That's basically how a generator works. You can see you're making a little voltage.
Oh, look at that. That's extraordinary.
But the great thing about this is that there's no moving electrical connections. So the magnets are moving, but the coil isn't. Okay, so I'll
Why
show
is
you.
that important?
Well, because the trouble is, if you have moving electrical parts, you can make a spark.
Oh, and if we've got flammable gas or anything...
That's really dangerous.
Well, that, in theory, is all looking very good.
Well, it's absolutely tiny. This is a very sensitive meter.
Right.
So this won't power anything.
Okay.
But I need to fiddle around putting much more turns of wire on. It's nowhere near powerful enough to light a bulb.
Hermione's ready to work on her cloud chamber, but needs one vital and extremely cold ingredient.
Mikey B! I need your assistance.
Yeah.
I need to make some dry ice from CO2, if you wouldn't mind having a seat. Don the gloves. Put this on as well. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Don't look so worried. What I've got here is a canister of liquid carbon dioxide under high pressure. If you could just hold that. Actually, hold it there. We don't want any accidents. It's just... There you go. Now, I'm going to release some of the liquid CO2 into here. And as I do so, it's going to expand very, very quickly. And as it expands and evaporates, some of that CO2 will freeze into dry ice.
Are you sure about that?
Yep, you ready? Yeah. Don't worry. Just a few seconds. Ready? All right. Look, there we are. Solid carbon dioxide, dry ice. And I need this to cool down my cloud chamber.
Right. Will I walk again?
Well, just don't go anywhere for now, because I need a bit more. I'll just...
To make a candle for the safety lamp, Ellen's getting help from some local bees. To calm the bees down, she uses smoke, which encourages them to gorge on honey, a defence mechanism they use in the event of fire. While they're busy eating the honey, Ellen can collect the wax.
Let's see what we got. Got a lot of bees, so this is a really active frame. Oh, look at that one. It's got its face in. They're bees that are basically emptying the nectar that they've collected right into these wax hexagons. So this probably isn't a good one for me, because all I'm looking for is the wax to make a candle. Beautiful stuff, but not what we're looking for. I'm gonna go for this next one. Hopefully this will not be full of brood, but will be full of honey. Ooh, yeah. Oh, you can immediately tell. There's bees working on it, but a lot less, because they've already filled it with honey. There's no developing bees in here, and they've capped it off with wax. This is exactly what I want.
It's the afternoon of day one, and the team's hard at work. Jonathan's doing a reel. Hermione's working on her cloud chamber. But where's Mike?
There you are. I've been looking for you everywhere. What are you doing down here in the bowels of the mill?
I need a darkened room. I'm playing with flames like Humphrey Davy.
Now, I need to get my head around this lamp that's not a lamp but is a safety device.
Yeah.
Explain.
Right. Well, so Humphrey Davy discovered that when you cool a flame down, you can extinguish it.
Right.
One way of cooling the flame down is to pass it through a metal sieve.
Okay.
Because the heat of the flame will be dissipated. It'll be conducted along the metal of the sieve
Right.
and dissipated. Right?
Okay, let's have a
Watch
look at
what
this.
happens.
Wow, it doesn't come out at
The
all.
flame doesn't pass through at all. If I used a sieve with larger apertures,
Right.
in other words, there's less metal per square inch
Okay.
to conduct away
So
the
this
heat of
one's
the
got, it's
flame.
got the bigger
This
holes.
has got bigger holes,
Yeah.
less metal. You see, it's not as effective.
Oh, the
You
flame's
see
coming through really quickly.
More quickly, yeah. Essentially, a Davy lamp is just a flame within a cylinder of this gauze.
Right.
Now, when the Davy lamp is taken down a mine and you find methane, a flammable gas, the gas will come through the gauze
Yeah.
and it'll catch fire.
Right.
But the explosion and the flame
It's
won't pass back
contained
through
by
the
the
gauze.
gauze.
It's contained by the gauze.
What's the next stage for you?
It's for me to construct something along the principles of the Davy lamp.
Okay, so finding the right gauze, butchering this poor sieve or
Yes.
something like
Yep,
that.
that's it.
And then all you need is Ellen to come up with her candle.
With a candle, yeah.
And it's done.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But a candle won't illuminate a mine. That's Jonathan's task.
Okay, well, I've experimented with a few coils near the magnets, and this one's 1,000 turns, and it's just beginning to light the bulb. Now, I've got provision for 2 of these coils, so that will double the voltage, so I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get it a lot brighter.
I hope so, Jonathan. Hermione's found an old aircraft dial with a needle that was coated in small amounts of radioactive paint to make it glow in the dark. This will be perfect for testing her cloud chamber.
So am I looking at a cloud chamber? You are. Not one that's working properly yet, but nevertheless a cloud chamber.
Okay, so tell me what the sort of component parts are if I want to make my own.
Well, essentially, we are filling the cloud chamber here with alcohol vapour. In this, we're using just a pad soaked in alcohol.
Right.
And I've put it on some dry ice. And because it's got a very, very cold bottom down here, it means near the bottom, the air of the chamber has become super saturated with alcohol vapour. And what that means is it's just on the brink of condensing out and forming little droplets of alcohol. But it can't because it hasn't got anything to condense onto.
Okay, but how does that vapour then tell you that whatever you've put in there is radioactive or not?
Well, this is the clever bit. If you have a radioactive source in there, it emits little particles, high-energy particles of radiation. And they travel through the air and cause, if you like, leaving a trail of destruction. And it's that trail of destruction that the alcohol vapour can condense onto. So in the wake of the particles, you see little wispy trails of cloud.
So that's why it's called a cloud chamber. Absolutely brilliant. So, presumably you haven't got anything in there that's radioactive at the moment because there's nothing
No,
happening.
well, I do. But I'm just
Hermione.
struggling a little bit to set up a nice supersaturated layer.
Okay.
And to actually visualise those particles. What doesn't help is that the sun's gone behind a cloud.
So you need a really
We
bright
need a
source
strong
of light.
light source. And what I want to do is use the sun, perhaps tomorrow morning, to see into the chamber more clearly and then pick up these clouds.
It's not doing anything, is it?
It's the end of the first day and not everyone is progressing as they'd hoped.
My cloud chambers were not quite as spectacular as they could have been. A few teething problems, but the rest of the rough science team are just making me feel really optimistic because apparently this isn't unusual.
It's the classic rough science situation where I've got the generator working, but it's not nearly as good enough for anything. I mean, it's getting the light to just light, so it's absolutely useless, but it's showing the principles. So tomorrow I've got to try and muck around to work out how I can get some decent light out of this thing. Otherwise, we're going to be lost in the mine shaft.
Day 2 and Jonathan and Hermione have been up since the crack of dawn. Hermione is having a rethink.
The cloud chamber with this design hasn't been terribly successful. It's very, very hard to see what's going on. So I'm just going to try a completely plastic version, just a section of this water bottle sandwiched between 2 bits of perspex so that we can see right in. And I'm hoping that then we'll be able to see it a lot more clearly. Fingers crossed.
And Jonathan's also made some tweaks.
You have changed quite a lot.
Yeah, well, I put the coils closer to the magnets.
Right.
So we're picking up more of the electricity. This is slightly bigger, so we're getting a better gearing. So it's really getting there now.
The only thing I would say is, although that seems to be working really well, I just have this vision of you walking down a dark mine shaft with no idea what's underfoot, and you're there desperately trying to crank this. I mean, it just doesn't seem terribly practical, Jonathan.
It would be nice if I could automate this somehow. There's options like with the clocks and a few bits and pieces.
And that will drive it by itself.
Yeah.
Then, and you won't have to be doing that frantically.
Yeah.
Outside, Ellen's preparing her wax extraction.
Hey, big girl.
Hey,
How did you get on yesterday?
brilliantly.
Ooh,
Look at this.
This. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a honeycomb.
Right.
So the majority of it is honey,
Yeah.
but that's not what we want. We want the wax.
Okay.
What we want to do is basically cut it out,
Yeah.
melt it over this double boiler. The honey should sink to the bottom.
Yeah.
The lighter wax should come to the top.
Oh, and then you can skim it off.
Exactly.
And do you think you've got enough in here for what, 1 or 2 candles?
One.
Really?
Yeah, it
So
really is
you've
mostly
got,
honey.
You've got no room for error here.
Yeah. Here, just
Eat this and shut up. Is that what you're telling me to do?
basically.
You can't eat it. All you've got to make candles. Come on, melt it.
Who cares about
Give
the
us a shout if
candle?
I can help.
This is incredible.
Meanwhile, Hermione's vandalising an old car, and Jonathan's torch is taking a dunking.
So if I turn the handle, you can see that the light works. So I'm just going to put it in and try it under the water. Oh, yeah. Great. Fantastic. Even works underwater.
And that's good news for a wet mine. With the help of the car wing mirror, Hermione's fixed the light source for her cloud chamber.
Kate? Oh, is this Cloud Chamber Mark II?
It is, yes. Here's the source, that little needle.
Yeah.
And what I would like you to do is see if you can adjust. I've rigged up the car wing mirror there.
Oh, yes.
We need the sun sort of shining directly through this hole.
Okay.
And that should give us the light source. There it is, there it is, there it is. Can we bring it up, up? There. Perfect, yep.
Yep. Is it working?
It's working, it's working!
Wow, look at that!
In the sunlight, all those little
All those
wisps
tiny
of
little
cloud.
wisps coming off it.
Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, that's amazing.
Success with a strong artificial radioactive source.
I'm so relieved.
But will it be sensitive enough to pick up weaker natural radioactivity? Ellen's wax and honey stew is coming along nicely.
See where we're at. Wow! All the wax has floated to the top. The honey is all on the bottom. It's just like having an oil layer and a water layer. They don't mix. Let's see if we can get some of this wax out of here clean.
Mike storming ahead with the safety lamp.
So what do I need to do? What do you have?
This is our safety lamp. What you've got to do is make a candle that will fit on that plate there. And the sieve goes on top, and then we bolt the sieve down, seal it, and that's our safety lamp.
Oh, no way! Are you saying I only need to make a candle that's 2 centimeters wide and like a centimeter tall?
Yeah, that's all.
I thought we were going to make this long tapered thing. This is fabulous. All right. Okay, good. All right, I can do this.
It's waterproof and it's bright, but Jonathan's still battling to find a way to store energy in his torch.
So have you had a thought?
Well, I've been spending the last 2 or 3 hours trying to work out how to power this thing without powering
So
it
you don't have to do this all
all the time. Yeah, and here's a nice little clock. So I was thinking about clockwork mechanisms. But that's not nearly as powerful enough to drive this thing. So then I thought, you know, we've got these lovely springs. You must be able to put loads of energy on this.
So that would effectively drive it,
Maybe.
that energy.
Yeah, but I couldn't really see how to do that. And then I had the brainwave I had was that rather than stretching it, you could twist it and store energy, you see.
Right.
So if I wind this up, you can see that it's winding the spring and it's lighting the bulb.
Yeah.
But if I let go,
Oh, wow. God, it's even brighter.
it's even brighter. So I'm only winding half the time, if you like.
That is brilliant.
That is brilliant. And now I've broken it.
Ellen has the wax for her candle. Now all she needs is a wick.
All right. This is dogbane, and I think it's going to make a fabulous wick for our beeswax candles. Look at those tiny white fibers.
Bashing time again as I help Ellen get at the pure fibres she needs for the wick.
It's like what I pull off my comb every morning.
Ellen's hoping the wick and her beeswax will make an effective candle for the safety lamp. Mike's finishing off the lamp itself, while Jonathan's still battling away on his torch. As day 2 draws to a close, Mike and Jonathan are feeling the pressure.
It's going to be a pretty sleepless night for me tonight. I think I'm just going to be worrying about it. But hey, that's rough science, you know. I've committed myself to one design for the safety lamp. And if it doesn't work tomorrow, then I've only got a few hours in which to come up with an alternative idea, because I don't think I can modify that design to make it work. I really can't.
Tomorrow is another day, and I've got at least half day to do that tomorrow, so we'll get it working then, I hope.
Well, it's crunch day. Will Hermione's cloud chamber be able to detect radioactive rocks? Will Jonathan be able to illuminate the depths of the mine? And can 2 artfully put together sieves and some homemade beeswax candles really detect flammable gas? Today, we find out. First job for Jonathan is to get his wind-up mechanism to work.
It's almost working. If this was sprung steel, it would be perfect. Such a simple idea as well. So I'm back to the drawing board. I need to find some much more springy wire, really thick wire.
But he'd better get a move on. Time's running out. Outside, the safety lamp is about to be put to the test. Mike fills a bin with propane to simulate a mine full of combustible gas. First, he tests out the lamp without the top protective gauze.
We have a bin full of propane.
And we have a very anxious Mikey B.
Just be careful, might be. Okay. I think we can unequivocally say that's flammable gas and it doesn't like a naked flame.
Now, under the same conditions, Mike tests the fully assembled safety lamp.
Ready, Mike?
Yep.
Ooh, wow. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
You could just see the flame just look... Well, it's really weird.
Well, it exploded, but the explosion didn't spread.
So that's why it works as the perfect safety
Safety lamp.
device. Because in you go. If there's any gas there, it ignites it, but traps it in there. So we would have had, if that would happened in the mine, we'd have time to get out before some major explosion. Congratulations. Let's go. I'm going to go and check on Jonathan quick. Right, JJ. Hot out there. Exploding gas now. Light.
Yes, it works.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's
Prove
really,
it.
really nice.
Prove it.
We've got a tape measure here, which is storing our energy. You can see it's winding out. So now if I let go,
Wow! Brilliant! It's a tape measure powered light!
It is, and it was there all the time. For the last 3 days, it was there.
Well, you've got moments, and then we're really going to be putting it to the test.
Okay.
Hermione's cloud chamber is ready for its final challenge with rock samples from the surrounding mountains.
What we've got here is 3 sources. None of us know which are radioactive and which aren't. And it's going to be up to you to judge whether you think they're radioactive or not using the cloud chamber. Are we all ready? Ready for the first sample? You want to have a look?
I can't see anything at the moment.
So based on this, we'd say it's not radioactive.
Okay, it's not radioactive.
You guys are all saying it's not radioactive. Let's see. Not radioactive.
Test sample 2. Can anyone see radioactivity in this rock?
I can.
Can too.
Yeah, me too.
Wow. Okay, final answer. Radioactive. Let's see if you're right. Yes! 2 out of 2.
Test 3. Will Hermione get a hat trick?
Oh yeah, that's amazing. Look at all those.
So can we conclude that you think this one?
It has to be.
Without a doubt.
Yeah?
This one's
Blimey,
much
that's
more
amazing.
radioactive
Yeah.
than that second one.
Okay, but let's prove it. Are you right or not? Ready?
Yes!
3 out of 3. Guys, we are definitely
It
ready
works.
to go down that mine. Let's go.
After 3 days of hard work, it's time to go underground. The team need to explore the mine to see if they can find any silver in it, so Hermione takes the lead. They each have their own headlamp all cleverly wired up to the one hand-cranked generator. Our very own rough science chain gang.
What do we reckon of Jonathan's lights? What do you think?
Well, the candles haven't been spluttering,
Yeah.
so I don't think there are any combustible gases in here. There's certainly been no explosion.
And they're still burning, so there's plenty of oxygen.
Any sign of any silver yet?
Jonathan, being Jonathan, has added an extra feature. He can switch from powering the 4 headlamps in favour of just one brighter working light for Hermione. Just what she needs if she's to identify any possible silver.
Wow, you can see the vein
Oh yeah.
going along the whole roof of the tunnel there. Look, even maybe some copper precipitating out there. You see the blue bit?
Yeah.
Wow.
Can see.
You see the white?
Oh, yeah. Oh, hang on.
Oh no.
Get the tape measure going. Oh no, the tape measure can't have failed. What's happened? Has the mechanism just twanged? Is that what it was?
I knocked it.
Okay,
It's
so-
not as bad as it looks, I think.
It looks terrible from here.
Thank goodness we got the candles.
I know.
They don't give much light to work by, do they?
It's not straight, is it?
Yeah, I've got it straight.
Oh, great. We're almost there. One more turn and we'll be there. I think. It's the light on the other side, please. Can you put candle?
Okay.
No, there it is. There it is.
Okay, done it?
Yes. Okay, let's see.
Okay.
How we doing?
Yeah, Hermione.
Yes.
Good repair, John.
Well done, Jerry.
Okay.
That is stressful.
Oh, the light, yeah.
Yeah, I'll put you on your main beam.
Oh, look, here. Fantastic. Okay, it's coming down.
Wow.
Look, it's really
Look
sparkling.
at that.
Wow.
Is that silver, do you think?
Not silver itself, but
Yeah.
with these type of minerals, you commonly get silver deposited. So I'm reasonably confident, Kate, that that rock would contain some silver.
Okay, I want to take that, but I also want to say congratulations to all of you. We've been beautifully lit by Jonathan. Can you collect some more of this? Because we might need it.
Okay.
Wow. Well done.
Wow. So sparkly.
Yeah.
Well, they've done incredibly well this week, but next time, can they take a photograph using this rock? Find out on the next Rough Science. Me and my sieve are out of here.
For a free survival science pack and details of all Open University programmes, call 0870 900 9581 or go to open2.net, where you'll also find more video diaries from the Rough Scientists.